Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Hill, and I am the Adult Degree Counselor for Messiah University's online nursing programs. Today, I'm going to be walking you through our information webinar session on our online RN to BSN and RN to MSN programs. Before I begin today, I just wanted to first say thank you for joining us here. We know that the year of 2020 has been crazy for everyone, and we know that that is especially true in the healthcare community. So we applaud you for taking a step to further your education, and we hope that you decide to do that at Messiah. So first, just to go over what we'll be discussing today. So first, we will be discussing the value of Messiah University's online RN to BSN and RN to MSN programs. We'll be going over some basics and structure of those programs, the application process, some FAQs or frequently asked questions that I get from students, and then finally at the end, we will leave some time for you to ask your own questions. So first, the value of an RN to BSN and RN to MSN program. So before I can really address this, I first want to make sure that you understand what the audience that these programs are for. So for both of these programs, you do need to have your RN license and your associate's degree in nursing. So if you're sitting on here and you're thinking, oh wait, I thought this was for an RN program, unfortunately, it is not. These programs are streamlined for individuals who are already, maybe practicing as a nurse at an RN level, who are looking to move on to a BSN or MSN program. But if you do decide to go and get your associate's degree, you can always come back later once you're finishing your program and think about applying to either of these programs. So in terms of the value of these programs for the students who do have their associate's degree, so what we're finding is that nurses who go forward with higher education not only have enhanced job satisfaction as well as an improved salary, which isn't mentioned on the slide, but we also are seeing that they're improving patient outcomes, and we're also seeing fewer medication errors. And what that means is that not only is higher education helping nurses in their personal lives get more success and more happiness out of their career, but they're also really helping the medical communities in our society, making sure that everything is functioning the way that it should be. So a nurse that is well educated and has a higher education degree is really an asset to a hospital setting. So just to start, some program basics for the online RN to BSN program. And so again, this program is a streamlined program for those who have their RN license and are looking to get their Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And so the program is 100% online. You wouldn't need to come to campus at all. And the clinical can be done at your place of employment. And so what that means is usually most of our students, because of the ease of it, like to do their clinical placement at their place of employment. Now, if for any reason that is a problem for you, maybe it's just not possible for you to do it where you work, we do have somebody on staff who would be happy to speak with you about a placement. We have not had any issues with students trying to get clinical placements. There's usually pretty wide success across for that. And then it's 120 credits. There is the possibility to get transfer credits for the program. However, that really is based on an individual basis for each student. So what will happen is, you can apply and then the faculty will look at your previous coursework and then they'll be able to let you know how many transfer credits they can transfer over for you. And then flexible start dates. So this program can start in the spring, the summer, or the fall. We have an early and late start for all terms. So we really do allow you to get started, when you feel ready to. It's not a normal fall start program, which is great for our students. And then for the online RN to MSN program. So just like the RN to BSN program, this program is 100% online. And there are two tracks. So again, this model is for someone who says, I want to go further. I want a Master's of Science in Nursing. And so there are two tracks for that, the RN to MSN Nurse Administration track and the RN to MSN Nurse Educator track. And so the RN to MSN Nurse Administration track That is really for someone who wants to move into an administrative role in nursing. So maybe you're thinking about, I want to be a nurse manager or a director of nursing. I want some sort of supervisory position. This is the right program for that. Um, or you might be thinking for nurse educators, that is really for somebody that wants to go into teaching for nursing. And so that might be somebody that wants to become a clinical nurse educator or go into undergraduate nursing education. So really those programs are for somebody that wants to take the next step beyond the bachelor's degree, but really specifically either in administration or teaching. And so for the RN to BSN application process, it's pretty streamlined. So we are going to ask you for official transcripts from all of your post-secondary institutions. Now, what that means is that we are asking for transcripts from every degree that you have completed or started even. So if you decided to go get an MBA, we want to see that program if that's something, if you had a previous bachelor's degree in something else, maybe you went on for graduate work in another field. We are looking for all of that information because that shows us a full educational trajectory of how you got to wanting to become a nurse at a higher level. Your earned associate's degree in nursing from an accredited program, minimum GPA of a 2.5 or higher, and a copy of your active RN license. And you'll be able to start your application online at our application portal, which is on our website. So there's no need to think about doing anything by hand or mailing anything in. I know sometimes students ask that still. Everything is online. And if you have questions, you can always ask me as you're going through the process. So the RN to MSN application process is a little bit more detailed just because you are applying to streamline into a master's program. So again, you're looking at official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions, earned associate's degree in nursing from an accredited program, a minimum GPA of 3.0 or higher. We are looking for a personal statement. And I just want to circle back to that GPA. That is going to be higher again because you are looking at going into a master's degree program. 3 letters of recommendation, those can be from any kind of healthcare professional. I usually try to encourage students to pick one that is a supervisor just because they do see you in a clinical setting and they can kind of give us a good idea of what kind of worker you are as a nurse. Your resume, proof of active RN license, and then for the nurse educator and nurse administrator tracks, we are going to ask that you have a minimum of 1 year of recent professional nursing practice prior to the first course in the program that really gets into that nurse educator track. And the reason for this is we do have some students who have just recently finished their associate's degree and they're looking to immediately jump into this kind of program. The issue is that when you get into that level of coursework at a graduate level for nursing, we want to make sure that you also have the clinical experience as an RN to really understand the material that you're going to be getting in those courses. So that's what that's there for. If you've been working for 5 years as a nurse or 10 years as a nurse, this doesn't really apply to you. But for those people who are finishing up an associate's degree in the near future, this is something to keep in mind when thinking of applying. And again, you'll do your application online at our website. So tuition and fees for the RN to BSN program, that is going to be $400 per credit. For RN to MSN, it's a little bit higher at $710 per credit due to the graduate work. Something I want to highlight here is that it is no fee tuition. So that means when you get the tuition from the program, it will be transparent. There won't be any secret lab fees or book fees or anything that you're not expecting. We're pretty open with how we display tuition for the program. And so now just some frequently asked questions. So these are questions that I get from students often that I think would be really helpful for you as you're thinking about applying to these programs. So am I able to do these programs full-time or part-time, and how would this change my plan of study? Yes, you are able to do these programs full-time or part-time. Since they are undergraduate adult degree programs, you're looking at about 12 or more credits for full-time and about 6 or more, maybe 6 to 11 credits for half-time in the program at an undergraduate level. And then how this would change your plan of study. So that really depends on when you come into the program and how many courses you're taking a term. So coming into the program in the fall is going to be different from coming into the program in the spring, just due to the fact that some courses are offered in different terms. And then if you take into account that you might be half-time, you might be taking fewer classes. So, a full-time plan of study and the way that those courses are going to be drawn out is not going to be the same as a half-time plan of study, which is not going to be the same as starting in the summer versus the fall. What is great about what Messiah can offer is that we do have an advisor who will be able to sit down with you, take into account your own personal goals and the things that you're looking for in the program, and work with you to kind of create a plan of study that's going to work for you. We have plenty of students who do these programs in various models, and we want to make sure that you're not overwhelmed. So they will work with you to make sure that the plan of study meets your needs. Am I able to apply for financial aid? So yes, there is financial aid. You can apply for federal financial aid. I am not a representative of the financial aid office, and I'm unfortunately not an expert at it. But in my various conversations with Messiah's financial aid office, who are wonderful, they really recommend two things for students who are thinking of applying to these adult degree programs. One is to get your FAFSA for federal financial aid completed as soon as possible if you think you're really going to be needing financial aid from the federal government. And the reason for that is so that you really have time to understand, what you might be working with when it comes to this kind of program. The second piece of advice is to speak with your employer as soon as possible. And the reason for that is, well, twofold. One is that Messiah does have relationships with some area employers where you might be able to get a tuition discount. The other part is that even if you don't have, or even if Messiah doesn't have a relationship with your employer might have tuition benefits that you're not even aware of. And the best person for you to speak to about that is going to be your HR representative. So they will be able to let you know, what is on the table for you, what kind of discount you might be able to get, even if there isn't a partnership with Messiah. So those are the two things that financial aid says right off the bat. Make sure you definitely look at. If I struggle with a course, who can I speak with at Messiah? So there are two groups of people you can speak with. Or I should say one is an individual and then the other one is a group of people. So the first person you would want to speak with if you're having any kind of issue is going to be your advisor. So you'll be assigned an advisor, like I've said. If you're accepted into the program, they will work with you on a myriad of things, your plan of study, courses you're looking to take, all of those things. If you run into any issues with the course, maybe academically, maybe you're just trying to figure out how to switch into doing education online, they will be able to point you to resources on campus that can help you, especially in terms of academic support, anything like that. The other group of people I want you to consider would be your faculty. So, here at Messiah, we do have a Christian education basis. And so our faculty really do take it upon themselves to treat students with the highest regard. And especially given this year and what we're kind of going through over the next few months, I think our faculty have really learned how to adapt and speak with students, in a virtual platform. And I know that they would want to make sure that you were doing well. So if you have any concerns with courses, if you decide to apply and you are accepted, our faculty will want to reach out and make sure you're doing well. And so now we just want to leave some time for questions from you.